everyone, my name is Jesper Jolma and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Baseload. I've been given the honors to do this yet one more time, so hopefully you can stick with me. Because today I have another very special guest of the Baseload family here today, and that is Hoang. He's the country manager of Baseload Power Taiwan. Welcome to Coffee with Baseload.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah, fantastic. So for all of you who don't know, we happen to be in Sweden this week and also then taking the opportunity also, of course, interview Van while he's here. So for those who don't know you, who is Van?
Yes, I'm responsible for Baseload Power Taiwan, so I'm running the show over there and trying to create some geothermal power plants in the market. That's great. Yeah.
Ah, perfect. And you're from Sweden originally, right?
Yeah, I'm from the front side of Sweden. Yeah,
yeah, that's a debatable question, but we can skip that for now. But so Taiwan, it's a fairly new, I would say, geothermal market. So yeah, how would you describe the state of geothermal in Taiwan?
I would say it's in its early days still, so roughly 5 megawatt that has been commissioned. So one power plant is 4.2 that is recommissioned. It was commissioned some 40 years ago. So the 2 power plants right now. And the government, of course, had a goal to reach net zero by 2050. So they reinitiated this renewable push in 2015. So it just started. So I would say that it's very, very early, but the government is pushing forward to reach this 2050 goal. So besides geothermal, wind, solar has been going on for 8-10 years now, so geothermal is coming into the market, so that's great.
And so why now? Is it only because of what the government decided to put in place in 2015, or why are sort of geothermal becoming a hot topic? No pun intended.
Yeah, I think first of all, of course, it's the goal, but then Taiwan is on the ring of fire in Asia Pacific, so it has great potential, 33 gigawatt potential. Only shallow depth is 1 gigawatt, and then there are identified 27 areas in Taiwan with geothermal power potential. So that's the right thing to pick to add geothermal into this renewable energy mix to do this energy transition. Yeah.
Okay, but so if it then has great prospective opportunities in terms of 3 gigawatts almost, fairly shallow, very highly prospective area, why hasn't there been more development in the past? And I mean, are there any challenges then associated with it, or why hasn't there been more development?
I think the focus wasn't on renewable before. They had coal, a lot of import for that, and then also gas and so on. But you know what's happening around the world, so everyone is looking into do this transition to save the globe. So Taiwan also joined the act for this goal. Yeah. So the focus now is very strong focus on renewable, and geothermal is one of the 3 biggest area the government will focus on. Yeah.
Okay, but what would you then say are the challenges with it? Because I can imagine, like, if there's a new market and there haven't really been a lot of development in the past, there's got to be challenges associated with that, or is it just
challenges? A lot of opportunities, of course, like I mentioned, quite many areas, high target, high potential. The challenges, I would say, in any new market, so Taiwan is a greenfield market for geothermal, and there's no geothermal law yet, but we got great news about this year that the government have put forward a geothermal act, so starting to put forward some policies, put forward moving towards geothermal law, so that will help a lot, but there's no law, so we are operating under the hot spring law and also mining law, which is not designed for geothermal, so things move a bit slower, and it's a bit more complicated to get permits and so that's one challenge, of course. Other challenges would be, since it's a new market, it's not so much data, geothermal subsurface data about heat, flow, and etc. So that is something that the government should work more on to provide data access for companies that would like to support Taiwan to do this geothermal development. And then financial instruments, and of course knowledge level is not so high yet within geothermal in Taiwan. So all that need to be worked on. And again, it's early days, so I think we move towards in the right direction.
Yeah. And then in terms of, I think that's very interesting, the fact that you even don't have the more basic things that you would take for granted, like the law, like having that in the right or shaped in the right way and form to enable geothermal. So did you say, has that already been signed, or it's being put into place, the new sort of regulations?
It will be put in place by end of the year. I think there are different instances where they approve this act. So it's written and it's decided, but it has to put into details before it's enforced. So it's extremely good news. They did the same with the wind and solar industry some years ago, and now it's geothermal. So
and how would you then describe the overall market if you then think about the different players? I mean, it sounds like a fairly small market so far. How would you describe that?
I think we're the only foreign investors and developer in Taiwan, which is good. We bring knowledge, we bring technologies, we bring experiences from other markets where we have power plants. So that is really, really good for Taiwan, and they appreciate a lot that we have some other global knowledge that we bring to the market. And there are some players in Taiwan that have done a lot of drilling, they have done a lot of power plants, other types of power plants, but also other types of development. So it's very early still to explore, to see what are the potential, how we can develop and work very close with the government. So I would say it's good market to enter, pioneering, to see what we can do, and all the stakeholders to help out, to trying to create something within the geothermal industry.
Okay, yeah, that's all very interesting, but it does sound like there's still a fair bit of work to do, and of course a lot happening. So how would you describe then sort of Baseload Power Taiwan's role, and what are your goals and ambitions for Baseload Power Taiwan?
Yeah, I mean, my goal, of course, is obvious. We're there to build geothermal power plants to reduce the CO2 emission. And Taiwan has a goal by 2050 to reduce the CO2 to zero, and then do this energy transition to renewable energy. So besides that, to help Taiwan working on this part, and since geothermal is an amazing base load, the potential's there, Taiwan is ring of fire. But I think also with the geothermal, you can create, except energy, heat in different application. I think that will help the local communities a lot around Taiwan, especially on the East Coast, where it's less developed. It will create a lot of opportunity for job, for other type of businesses, and bring the community together. It become more lively for them. So I think that is really good. So that's actually our goal, to make it a bit bigger and for the community and for the country in Taiwan.
Yeah, and then talking about those type of businesses and also utilizing the heat, which is something in general we are talking a lot about within the Baseload group, and really trying to see more what can you utilize the geothermal resources for in addition to the power. What do you see in terms of those applications or businesses in Taiwan?
Yeah, there are already some geothermal heat that are used for the horticultural industry. Like you cultivate maybe onions or other things, you call it like hot spring onions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can add it up like a premium onion. You have different taste or flavor based on that. So I think the horticulture industry could be used, of course, for veggies. And of course, spa, that we already know about that. But then drying food. Food is big in Taiwan. So I think those could be the application areas to start with. Then you will have growing flowers. You could have, heat for industries and etc. So I think step by step you can move.
So do they actually have like a hot spring onion in the store that you can buy? Like
you have
brand?
egg, onion, crackers.
Really?
There's a lot of things.
That's really great. Very interesting to hear, but of course, you being in Sweden and from Sweden, we of course got to have the obligatory Swedish fika element to every Coffee with Baseload episode. So we have a few options here. Which one would you go for? That's the mandatory question for all the guests.
I think the one closest to cinnamon bun is the great one that I miss.
That's your favorite?
In Sweden, and that's really good.
Do they have any good bakeries there with Swedish stuff? I know that they have some like Swedish.
You need to go to IKEA to get the stuff.
Exactly.
But on that, I think Taiwan has a lot of food, like I mentioned. So they have a lot of buns. You should come over and try. Yeah.
All right, I'll go for the cinnamon bun as well. So feel free, dig in. Let's go for it. This sounds almost freshly baked.
Yeah,
Thank you guys very much for joining this episode of Coffee Baseload. Great having you in here, and hope you guys stick around and follow us on YouTube as well, and make sure to subscribe so you get the notification for the next episode. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Good.
These are always
good stuff.
tasty and freshly baked.